Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Planning Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, 2015. Before we begin the meeting, if you would all kindly stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If anyone in the audience would like to speak to a matter, please fill out a card and have the cards passed up to us, and we'll be more than happy to entertain your request. We had a slight technical difficulty. As you can see, not all the commissioners are here tonight, and the cards I received so far, looks like a lot of them pertain to item number 2, which we will be discussing tonight. However, it's very, very unfortunate that one of our commissioners will have to recuse himself if we dealt with item number 2, and thus we would not have a quorum. So we could not actually vote on the matter. We're hoping one of our commissioners can show up later on this evening. He's stuck out in the road right now, and hopefully he can make it, but we'll play it by ear. In the event that he does not make it, we'll have to move this matter to next month in January. I'm sorry, yes, the item number 2 is on the agenda, ma'am. However, it would take at least a quorum.
She's asking what is item 2?
Oh, the subject matter, that's item number 2. Item number 2 on the agenda.
But she doesn't have a copy of the.
Oh, okay. Would you like a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
We can kind of.
Carter Street subdivision.
Okay, yeah, there was no agendas.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that taken care of? Is that,
Well, there's agendas posted.
Yeah.
okay. So with that being said, we'll play that by ear as we come to it. If the other commissioner shows up, then I'm sure we can handle item number 2. But for right now, it's going to be moved to the January meeting. Okay. With that being said, we shall begin. Roll call, please.
Crump is absent. Edelman,
Here?
Satori,
Here.
Sylvester,
Here.
Tallarico absent.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from October 6, 2015.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes have been approved. Thank you very much. Okay, the first item on the agenda is item number 1, use permit UPR-9-15-11523. This is the application by City Toyota for vehicle storage lot for the City Toyota at 3301 Junipero.
Thank
Mike?
you, Honorable Chair, members of the Planning Commission. This is a request by City Toyota for a temporary vehicle storage facility. We'll go through the proposal, of course, in the presentation. The site address is 3301 Junipero. This is a use permit requirement. The site location is generally bounded by Junipero on the west, B Street on the north, D Street on the south, and Hill Street on the east side. The yellow areas show the site that would be proposed for the vehicle storage facility. This is a site photo looking from B Street toward the south, which this is before vehicles were located on the site. The previous Sarah Bowl is located at this location. It is not part of the proposed vehicle storage use and is not part of the, it's part of the site plan, but it's not proposed to be used for anything in this application. This is generally the site location though here, and there's an SFPUC, San Francisco Public Utility Commission parcel that runs through the site. We'll go through that in the site plan. These next couple of slides just show the context of the site, some of the surrounding uses. Of course, this is the existing City Toyota dealership. The dealership has made this application so that it can store vehicles associated with the City Toyota automobile dealership. and so that the inventory for the dealership can remain what it needs to be in order to be conducive to sales, of course, at that dealership. It's an overflow type of a facility. There would be no patrons to City Toyota actually accessing the site. That would all still occur on the City Toyota sales room, floor and on the City Toyota property proper. Some more site context another site context photo showing the Samtrans parking lot located to the south of the proposed site, the subject site. So this is the site plan that was included in the Planning Commission packet. Just to reorient again the commissioners and public, this is Juniper Serra Boulevard here, B Street to the north, Hill Street to the east, and D Street to the south. The orange area is the former Serra Bowl site, which closed in 2012. The proposed parking lot would provide parking spaces for approximately 208 new vehicles, or newer used vehicles, in 3 different locations. Area A, which is here, and includes what is appears to be a portion of B Street. This is actually a private property here and is included in the proposal for parking. Any of the commissioners who visited the site may have noticed this is fenced off, and that's actually okay. It's not any public street, and it is part of the proposed parking facility. So Area A would provide 171 parking spaces. Areas B and C together would provide 37 parking spaces for City Toyota. And the SFPUC, San Francisco Public Utility Commission parcel, which lies in the middle of these 3 sites, would not be used for storing any vehicles. And the city staff's recommending a condition of approval. Just to clarify, no parking's to occur on this property. There's no approval for that being granted or recommended for approval inside this use permit. So that should be set. Again, the Serra Bowl building itself would not be used for any purpose. So as indicated in the staff report, the list of uses that are pertain to this particular zone actually don't include vehicle storage facilities. The city staff's made a determination that because it's a temporary use, temporary in nature, and it's not the ultimate use of the site, that a limited duration type of a use permit is appropriate at this site, and we've recommended that the duration for this permit be 5 years. This would give the applicant and the city staff ample time to allow City Toyota the flexibility it needs to provide the inventory it requires for customers, as well as explore permanent solutions. Now, if one of those permanent solutions was that the site would become permanently used for vehicle storage, there may need to be a zoning text amendment or a general plan amendment in order to make this a permanent use. It's possible that City Toyota itself would, explore other possibilities for providing permanent parking, and that's, of course, the city staff's hope, is that this permit would allow us some breathing room, so to speak, for the exploration of a permanent solution. So that's probably the most important condition of approval in terms of affecting the overall operations of the storage facility. No use of the city streets to store vehicles is allowed. Of course, as we'd indicated, the north-south B Street is not a city street. That's private property. That's okay. Using the SFPUC property, not allowed. There's no automotive repair that would be allowed. Of course, that would be conducted within the City Toyota building that exists to the north side of B Street. And then we've added a condition of approval that should any security lighting be added to the site, that we need to review that to make sure that that lighting's not providing or causing an excessive glare to motorists, for example, exiting northbound Interstate 280. So we've tried to think of any of the possible issues that could arise from the storage use. There really aren't that many, especially since it's temporary in nature. And we've proposed some conditions of approval that reflect that. Project's environmental assessment is that it's exempt from CEQA. Staff's recommending the Planning Commission adopt the findings that are outlined in the staff report, affirm the categorical exemption that's indicated in the staff report, and approve the use permit. there's any questions the city staff can answer, please feel free to ask. The applicant is also present tonight. City Toyota staff is present to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lockhausen. Do we have any questions from any of the commissioners?
I have some questions, but I'd probably like to address the applicant with
Okay.
questions directly. Might as well.
Okay, prior to that, how about,
Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask the question to Mike here. Do we have any plans for future development of the area?
Well, the property is designated for commercial type of uses. So the general plan and the BART station, the BART area specific plan indicate that this site's permanent long-term use would be commercial in nature. So if that's any, that would be our answer to your question. We would look to the specific plan and the general plan.
Because this area is a top dollar. I would say it's one of the best area here for, I would say, mixed use or smart growth development compared to like Sierra Monte. And because this is very near BART, so it's really a top dollar, I would say, area.
Right.
And if we're going to use this for the next 5 years, for parking of vehicles, it will be some sort of lost opportunity for the city to really to grow as a commercial area or as future smart growth. So, do you think it is viable really to give them 5 years?
We certainly do. City Toyota, of course, is a major tax generator for the city. It's a business that the city, absolutely
But
desires.
it's just a
to-
parking garage, just like a parking area. So it doesn't really look to me a very attractive way of putting up a parking garage there wherein we can probably put up some area that can be elastic and some sort of opportunity for us to develop that area.
Well, just to clarify, this is a temporary use. It's not a
I know,
parking
you
garage.
said it's 5
It's an
years.
open air parking
5
lot.
years takes a long while also. By the time you know it,
And that's a maximum.
Okay.
There may be a solution that's developed in the
are
interim.
there any business headhunters that would like to develop that area in the future?
The city's had various discussions over the years of, the ultimate use of the site with the different developers, but we've received no applications based on any of those discussions.
Because the economy now is, I would say, booming. You can go to San Francisco, you can go to a lot of the Bay Area. They're booming because a lot of construction are going on. So probably we can attract some people because the location is, I would say, very attractive to me because BART's there. You can put up I don't know, if there's some people who would like to develop that area. It will be a waste if it is really just a parking for the next 5 years to me. My personal opinion, as an adherence to the growth and development of California, not only in the city.
And to be clear on that point, the property owner is in no way committed to providing this space for a period of 5 years. And we do know that the property owner is pursuing
does somebody own this,
development. Yes, so City Toyota does not own this parcel. They're leasing this parcel as a solution to vehicle storage in the interim until they find a permanent solution. So the purpose of supporting this is to support City Toyota as they seek out a permanent solution. Meanwhile, the property owner is pursuing development on this site. So this is functioning as an interim use. And we have gotten multiple inquiries of developers interested in looking at the site.
Because 5 years to me is too long. 3 years is okay, but 5 years, it's something that, to me, it's not acceptable really for growth and development of the city, especially when you have a good location, Mr. Chairman. So that's my concern. Thank you very much.
thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Lockhausen, I got a couple of questions for you.
Great.
I guess Ms. Tatum answered part of it. I was concerned about the purchase of Sarah Bowl later on in the future if someone wanted to purchase or develop it. With having this 5-year, basically temporary commitment, I guess they'll have to work that out, knowing that there's a lease, and that can be worked out.
Sure. Of course, City Toyota has a lease with the property owner.
Sure.
the terms of the lease, we're not privy to those, but they're probably relatively short-term in nature. The applicant's here and can address that. I don't know if it's a year-to-year type of a situation, or month-to-month. But yeah, if a developer was to come along and it was something the city was supportive of, we really don't see this, again, as Tatum said, as interim use. It's really standing in the way of that happening.
Okay, and the other question I have, in the documentation that I read, there was 2 letters that was submitted, I guess, from the dealership regarding having enough space. I think it was like 4.6 acres or something. And had this space not been available, what would they do? I guess that would be something we can
Yeah,
ask the
that's right.
applicant, because it's very fortunate that City Toyota is there and the space is just right there. And I think that's it's optimum and it's very fortunate for them. But I've seen the cars at different places, even as far down as Hillside Boulevard and East Market. And okay, so if there are no other questions from the commissioners, I'd like to accommodate Commissioner Edelman and having the applicant step up. Sounds good?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I
can-
do have one question for
Okay.
Mike, too, as he's walking to the podium. Is this one property owner that owns this lot and Cerebral?
Yes, it's a single
Okay.
property owner.
Answers that question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Welcome, and please
Thank
state
you.
your name for the record, please.
Yeah, I'm Dave Muller. I'm an owner of City Toyota.
Oh, that's right. You're the name I saw in the letter. Okay.
Hey,
Okay. Okay.
Through the chair.
Yes.
May I call you Dave?
yeah, please.
Okay. So Dave, question in terms of, this is going to be a temporary use, the application is for temporary use of the lot.
That's correct.
Are there going to be any improvements to the lot to use it, or is it just going to be used as is, with the exception of, I saw that like the fence is going to be moved a little bit?
It is a very short-term lease, so I don't think it will inhibit any future development by any means.
Oh, no, I'm not worried about that, I'm just in
No.
terms of improvements.
So as far as improvements, the current facility has no power, no electricity. The bowling alley was gutted. It's been vacant for over 2 years. And so right now, we're just planning on, as we've submitted, there was security lighting mentioned. We would like to do that, but we don't have a feasible way to do it at the moment. So if we can come up with something, we'll present it to the city.
Solar, I suppose.
We have some solar, but they're so low power that.
Gotcha. Signage, is there going to be any signage other than just, stay off the property? sort of
No,
signage?
there's no signage, and it's really the only signage that's there is on the gates to not block the gates.
Okay. And then security, as far as security guards on premise?
We don't currently have security guards. On our main facility, we do have security cameras that have infrared and so forth and motion detection. And we're working with our provider to see if they can run some sort of wireless bridge across, because we have had theft.
That's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
yeah, I understand. And so the surface right now, part of it's paved, part of it's dirt, I believe?
I think almost all of it's paved.
Almost all of it's paved, because it was the parking lot before. Okay. And that answers, I think, most of the questions that I had.
Okay.
Commissioner Satori?
No, I don't. Actually, I'm not against it, but I'm looking about the future. Probably have to develop this, because sometimes it used to be an interim, but becomes a permanent in the long run, because nobody's interested there.
Well, I can address a couple of things you mentioned. Number one, I'd just like to point out it's a very difficult site. The San Francisco PUC runs right through the middle of the property, and you cannot go in the ground there. So you can't put a structure that would require a foundation through the PUC site. So it's bisected right through the middle. So it's a triangle on the left and triangle on the right, and only usable space for construction or development, in my opinion, is where the bowling alley is now.
Yep.
So it's a very difficult property from that standpoint. As for the vehicle storage, it's not a poor use for the city. We used to have the lot at the Samtrans, right across the street. And prior to that, we had, which is now, I think the CVS or Walgreens on the old Seton Records facility, about the same amount of cars of each place. The Seton facility got developed. Samtrans, I believe, is going to be doing something. And so we moved out across the street. And to your question, Glenn, it'll be a big problem for us. So we are working with the city to try and come up with a long-term solution. But, you know, we sold over 450 cars last month, and you have to have the cars available to display for the customers and to get them to come to the facility.
So it's a good business.
We're pacing about 165 million in taxable sales for the city this year. So I think it's a, you know, it's a good temporary use. It's had a homeless problem during the thing. I think we've helped address that, you know, since it's no longer abandoned and we're on it. And I think it's very good use for the city. Like I said, we have a short-term lease. The 5 years is, I don't think will accommodate or prevent anything from happening on that property should the owner of the property decide to do something or have a development proposal that makes sense for everybody.
Actually, I was I think the planning chairman here when we approved your location.
Yeah,
This
thank
kind-
you.
Yeah, that was
So-
10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, we moved in
You know, I
07.
remember that.
Yeah, 07, yeah. So, and I think our sales prior to that was about 85 million, so we pretty much doubled, so hopefully
Congratulations.
hopefully you're happy with your decision, we are.
One more question through the chair. So Dave, kind of answering or asking relative to Commissioner Satori's question about the lease on the property. I know we're not privy to the actual terms of the lease, but are you basically on a flexible, like a year-to-year lease with the landowner at this point, or is it just kind of?
It's really a 90-day notice lease.
Got it. So it's just kind of open in case they get a better offer.
I mean, I need, you know, just to even move that amount of cars off, I need time, so it's a very short-term lease.
And in the meanwhile, you're looking for other facilities?
We are,
So that you might even find something
yeah.
before 5 years, too.
Yeah, we have a very good relationship with them as far as I think they'll give us as much heads up as they possibly can, you know, should something come along. I imagine if somebody wants to do something, they're going to have to come through the process like this, and
Oh, yeah.
we'll have some notice.
Got it.
Yeah.
Just a couple of comments I would like to make, Dave. I think I read in your letter you did 135 million. However, you hope to do 165 and above.
We've already passed 135 this year, so
And to support Commissioner Edelman about your security, for some reason, I was on your lot at 1 o'clock in the morning. I just pulled in the lot. I was just looking at a Toyota Highlander.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all through the speakers at 1 o'clock in the morning, the person in our lot, please be advised, the lot is closed. Please return tomorrow morning between the hours of such and such. So your security does work.
well, thank you.
I've never seen anything like that. So, okay, well, I thank you so much.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions from any of the
No, I don't.
commissioners? Okay, with that being said, thank you so much,
Okay, thank
sir.
you.
You may have to come back up again because I'm going to open it up now to the public hearing.
perfect.
All right. So at this time, I would like to open to the public hearing. And in reviewing the cards here, we have no cards on item number 1. So I would request a motion at this time to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second emotion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion passed. We recommend that the Planning Commission forward to the City Council the following recommendations. Adopt the findings as outlined herein. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Affirm the environmental assessment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. And lastly, to approve use permit, UPR-9-15-11523, subject to the conditions of approval outlined herein. Motion?
Moved. I move to approve.
Second emotion.
Roll call, please.
Edelman,
Yes.
Satori,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes. Okay, the motion is passed. And estimated date that this should go to the city council?
This should go to the city council on January 11.
January 11th. Thank you so much. Okay. Item number 2. As I mentioned earlier, we are missing one commissioner at this time. And I can only assume that Commissioner Edelman will be recusing himself from,
Right, I live within close proximity of the project involved, and therefore I cannot discuss it as a commissioner in this matter.
with that being said, with only 2 commissioners remaining, we don't have a quorum, folks, to continue this matter. So, at this time, so what we would like to do is move this over to the January meeting. I have to offer my sincere apologies to the 3 speakers who are set to speak on this matter, but unfortunately, beyond our control, we cannot continue this matter. And I'll refer to council. Council or staff? Should we add anything?
Because we're continuing this item, we'll be continuing it to a date certain. So the next planning commission meeting is on January 5th. The meeting would also be at 7 PM in the same location. So that meeting will be January 5th.
Okay, for the record, that's January 5th at the meeting. This matter would be continued. Do we have any other questions or further concerns? Okay, being none. Public appearances, staff, communications?
None.
None? Acquisitions, vacations, and et cetera? None? Request a motion to adjourn?
So
Um,
moved.
Before we adjourn,
Commissioner Satori?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to say that since I assumed the position of Planning Commissioner here last February, I would like to say that the Planning Commission itself, with of course with the staff, that we have a very successful year because we have practically about more than 28 projects going on in this year. So I would like to congratulate Tatum and Mike, and of course our council here, Shot, for a very magnificent work that we have excellent job for this year, 2015. And to me, I feel proud to belong to this planning commission group because we really worked hard on this and you really did a wonderful job for this year. With this, I would like to say happy holidays coming in, so probably we'll meet again next year. So thank you very much and have a good year for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Satori, and I'm sure that Commissioner Edelman and myself echoes the same sentiments, and thank you so much. It's very appreciated, and we're glad to have you on board.
Okay.
With that being said, this meeting is now adjourned. Happy holidays, everyone, and thank you so much.